Welcome back, gang, to another film review. Today we'll be talking about Mark L. Lester's... there is no L, it's just Lester. Damn it. Class of 1984, right? And 1984 follows a teacher as he deals with a notorious, that might be too strong a word, but deals with a gang of students that are tormenting not only him, the school, and other students. Yeah, that's all the things they're tormenting. So he's dealing with a gang of, I feel like they're wannabes. You know, they're not really menacing. They deal in prostitution, which is like, what? They don't even look like seniors, so they're not graduating by any means. They, anything look like freshmen or maybe sophomores who stayed back 4 times. A little concerning. Anyhow, Mr. Andrew Norris, right, our main character, he's the new music teacher, right? So he comes to this new school, his wife is pregnant, right? They're joining the community, things are looking really good. He makes a good friend, Mr. Corrigan, who is the science teacher, and things do seem to be going along swimmingly, right? Now, that all changes though, okay? This one kid, Peter Stegman, right, and his bunch of cronies, they're in class, they're causing trouble. So Norris does the reasonable thing and asks him to leave. You know, they cause a scene. He says, get out of my room, kicks him out, gives him the boot, right? Which I'm sure you've seen happen in classrooms you've been in, you know, across your academic career, depending how old you are. So anyway, they leave, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to forget this, man. And it's like, you just got kicked out of class. It's not that big a deal. But that earned Mr. Norris a spot, you know, on the list, right? He's on the list. And it's not the good kind either. So he's on the list. And now throughout, as the story goes on, right, we get to know Mr. Norris and what he's like. And he seems like a very compassionate man. There's a lot of emphasis that he truly cares about the kids, right, and wants them to succeed. And, you know, Lester does a really good job capturing, you know, teachers trying to reach a generation they don't necessarily understand anymore, right? It's hard to, you know, get them to embrace and enjoy the subject material, because sometimes the subject material is dull. It's not always fun. And it's seeing some of the teachers deal with that, especially, forgive me for looking at the DVD, but especially Roddy McDowell. His character, Mr. Corrigan, is probably one of the best in this whole film. There's one scene specifically where he's talking with Mr. Norris, right, about how he feels like, you know, he can't connect with the kids. He doesn't feel like he's successful as a teacher. You know, and that felt genuinely real. That was like watching someone truly express their emotions, right? And, you know, you definitely, looking back at high school, you know, I feel like I've seen some teachers like, you know, Mr. Norris and Mr. Corrigan, you know, who wanted, you know, to be in touch with the kids, to try and get them to enjoy, to mean something, right? To get them to rise to the occasion and connect and bond. But he has this heartfelt conversation with Norris, and then, like, the next day, you know, he snaps, and it's probably the best scene in the film. And I won't give away what happens because I want you to check it out, but you'll know he snaps. You will know. There's a surefire thing. You do not bring that into a classroom. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. And it's just a really, really well done scene, right? Now, backpedaling up on Norris, okay, so he kicks him out of class, strike number 1, right? And then we follow the gang and get a sense of what they do, right? They sell drugs, they're pimps, they have prostitutes, right? They shake kids down to get them not to talk about things, and then they try to sound like scary and intimidating by saying, teacher, teacher, and it's like, that's not really intimidating. That's just kind of like weird, like uncomfortable weird. And the guy who plays Peter Stegman is just like, you know, a Nazi youth, right? You know, he just looks like this douchebag who maybe plays lacrosse. And it's like, what are you doing trying to be like a street hood? You know, he's, you know, lives with his mom. He drives a convertible. It's like, you're not from any street I know of that's of the Hard Knocks variety, you know, and they keep on trying to pin him as like this, you know, real machismo, however you say that, like leader, who's menacing. And, like, sure, the stuff he does is horrid, but it's like you just want the whole movie for him to get socked in the face really hard. And you feel for Mr. Norris as this goes on because, some other characters, without giving too much away, they get affected by these guys. Like, they're getting bullied and shaken down and intimidated, and Mr. Norris so much wants to make a difference. But it doesn't seem like the higher-ups, meaning like the principal, the vice principal, really want to do anything about it. Like, he's the only one who notices the wrongs that are going on. Everyone else is just blind. And I think people can identify with that, be it like your average day-to-day or on the job. You can see something's clearly not right, yet no one's doing anything about it. And that, in a nutshell, is Mr. Norris, right? But then they go too far, right? And they go way too far. And I won't give that away, but they definitely crossed the line. And it's just like, I don't really think that was necessary for that to be the thing, the catalyst to make Norris, forget that, he's an adult and they're kids. The act they do leads him to be like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to punch your face in. I think they maybe could have found something different, but granted, the type of movie it is, that's the route they chose to go. It's unsettling. It's just not okay. But it makes you happy in the end, right? It makes you very happy in the end. They get what they deserve, and I'm sure you can pick up what that means from there. If we're going out of 5 stars, I'd say like 3.5. I'm a big fan of the 80s movies. I love the music, the synthesizers, the rock and roll jams. It's all good stuff in my book. If you're looking for a rainy day flick, or it's on demand, or someone's like, oh hey, you want to watch Class of 1984? I would totally recommend it. Yeah, 3 out of 5 stars, not bad, worth a check. On a side note though, Class of 2020, for everything you've gone through, sincere congratulations, and I hope each and every one of you continue just being amazing people. Best of luck to you, and Class of 1984. Not a bad flick. Definitely, it could use an update. I think if you had to think of it, think of like, Warriors meets The Faculty, maybe? I don't know. Can't even really say it's like The Warriors. Forget I said that. But not a bad movie. Check it out.